Greetings, ladies and gents. Welcome once again to one of my SPSS videos. In today's videos, we'll be looking at running a moderation analysis using SPSS, specifically using the process plugin. The process plugin is basically an add-on to SPSS that lets you run moderation and mediation with more ease than before. Back in my day, we did not have such fancy tools, so we had to run these things manually. So everybody should be grateful for having process. Blessed hashtag. I mean, hashtag blessed, or whatever you kids call it. Okay, so without further ado, let's dive into the data. Today we're going to look at how the relationship between video games and aggression may or may not be moderated by callous unemotional traits. Excuse me. So this is your data over here. Now to run moderation, you'd want to go to Analyze, Regression, and if you had installed Process prior to watching this video, you would have this Process version 3.4 option. So click on that. Now we want to slot in our variables. Our Y variable or our outcome variable will be aggression, and then our predictor variable here is video games or our hours per week playing video games. Next, we want to slot in our moderator, which is the callous unemotional traits. Put it into the moderator variable W box over here. Okay. Next, you want to make sure that your model number is set to 1 because that's for simple moderation. You have a whole bunch of models that you can run, but we're going to go with number 1, which is simple moderation. Alright, next you click on Options, and we want to tick on Generate Code for visualizing interactions. This will give you the code necessary to produce your simple slopes graph, which we'll get to later. Alright, then we will go to our mean center options. I want you guys to click on only continuous variables that define products. What this does is basically it will help center your continuous predictor variables. Now I won't get into what centering means or what it does exactly, but know that it is a necessary step in moderation. You can check out Stormy's adventures for a more in-depth explanation of centering, but in the meantime, click on only continuous variables that define products. Next, I want you to hover your cursor over here in the top right corner. You'll see that there's this heteroskedasticity consistent inference. This will basically help safeguard against violations of the assumption of homoskedasticity. What I want you guys to do is basically click on the drop-down menu and click on HC4. You can click on HC3 if you want. Yeah, choose HC3 or HC4. I personally prefer HC4. But yeah, so click on that and then you go to decimal places in output. Put it to 3 because 4 is just too much. Then for probe interactions, you can just put it for always. And then most importantly, when you get to the conditioning values box, I want you guys to click on the -1 SD mean and +1 SD. What this basically will do is that it will show us the relationship between our predictor and outcome variables at the mean value of the moderator, at the low value of the moderator, and at the high value of the moderator, which we will see in the SPSS output later. You can also click on this Johnson-Neyman output because again, anything with a fancy name must be useful to us. But yeah, it's basically like an extended simple slopes graph. We'll get to it in the lectures, but click on it for now. Click on continue, then click on OK. And you can go to your output, wait a while. It takes some time, just like all good things. Oh, it's here. Okay, so you can see that you have a whole bunch of tables. You have your regression model telling you whether your interaction is significant or not. Then you can see your conditional effects, which is basically your simple slopes. So you can see that it's showing you the statistics for the relationship between your predictor and outcome variables at the low level of the moderator, at the mean level, and at the high level of the moderator. Again, we won't get into the interpretation part. This video is only just for the steps of running moderation. So as you scroll down, you can see that there's a particular chunk in the output over here. So this part is what we'll use to plot the simple slopes graph. So what to do is to double click on the output. That'll allow you to copy paste. So copy the chunk starting from data list free all the way to this last line over here, including the period. So copy this part. Now I want you guys to go to File, New, and Syntax. We're gonna do some coding over here. Not really, but yeah, just paste your code, and then what I want you guys to do is you have to run the whole selection. So go to Run over here, click on All. Then you'll be brought back to the output, and you'll get this graph over here. Yes, a very bland, unappealing graph, much like me. And what you want to do is to make it fancier. So double click your graph, and you'll get this chart editor over here, which you can do stuff. Okay, so what you want to do is pay attention to the cursor over here. I want you guys to go to this small button over here. It says the Add Interpolation line. Click on that, and you will get another window as if there. I'm sorry, I don't know where I was going with that. Okay, anyways, so go to Variables, the Variables tab. You can see that there's an element type over here. Instead of this interpolation line, we want fit line. Okay, so go select fit line, and then click on Apply over here, and close this. And then you can see that you now have fit lines for your graph. So very fit. I aspire to that kind of fitness. Okay, so we're almost done over here, but you notice that at the legends part, there's this weird chunk over here. You can leave it in if you want, you can move it around, or you can delete it, up to you. I choose to delete it because I need to Marie Kondo my life. It does not spark joy. Oh, and then this is here. Yeah, you can edit the graph on your own, but basically, once you're done adding the fit lines, you can go to the output, and here is your simple slopes graph. You can see how the relationship between your predictor and outcome variables change according to the level of the moderator. And that marks the end of this SPSS video. I hope this has been enlightening for you. So yes, goodbye.